Deborah, Brenda, Dawn. Can you hear me okay? Natasha, how's it going? Agatha, hello. Evie, how you doing everybody? Got my tie on tonight. How's life today? Thank you for the people who came on my tours today. On my tour. Lorna from London. Evie, hello. Bonnie. Hello Lorna from London. Whereabout are you in London? I used to live in Mitcham. Collierswood, I used to live for 2 years. Dawn, how's it going, Dawn? Back in Edinburgh. Lexi, how you doing? How's life? Anna Maria, hello Anna Maria from Sweden. I've damaged my finger somehow. Don't know what I've done. My finger's swollen up. I've just been pulled up by Hago again. I must be the most pulled up guide on Hago. Hago have sent me a warning about abusing animals. Hey Beth, how you doing? Marianne, thank you so much for coming on my tour today. Tonight even, it's tonight in Scotland. It's tonight. I've got my England flag, look, I've got my England flag out tonight. Come on England! Ah yeah, got some nice art, man. This is a local artist, Stuart Bremner. He's a... I'll show you. I've got this, look. This is a famous Scottish saying. Try and say it. It's a bra bricht moonlicht nicht the nicht. It's a bra bricht moonlicht nicht the nicht. That means it's a nice moon tonight. It's a nice, bright, moonlit night tonight. It's a famous Scottish saying, but nobody ever says it. That's Edinburgh Castle. Abusing animals. What on earth happened? I was playing around on a tour once, like months ago, and I was throwing tiny little stones at pigeons, saying I was playing 10-pin bowling with them for a laugh, and somebody complained. Well, so there you go, Glenfinnan. That's the Harry Potter viaduct as well. Sorry, the glare's on the screen, and that's where I'm from, Leith. Begbie, that's Begbie from Trainspotting. If you haven't seen Trainspotting, watch Trainspotting. I'll be doing a Trainspotting tour soon. That's the famous viaduct where Harry Potter cars go over. And of course Edinburgh Castle looking resplendent in the top of the volcanic rock. You've still not watched Trainspotting? Oh, you need to watch Trainspotting. You have to watch Trainspotting, it's iconic. So I've got a set up from my home tonight. I've not done one of these. I've not done one of these at home for a while from Scotland, so I don't know how this is going to go. This is a type of tour you can't really rehearse too much because I'm showing pre-recorded content as well from a tour I did down at Burns Cottage last year. So we'll just have to wait and see. Polly, Alexandra, oops. Christina, how you doing? Thank you so much for coming tonight. Melissa, I hope you've all got a little bit of scotch tonight. Got a nice Glenfiddich 12-year-old. I think that I'm not too much of a scotch drinker, but I do like a Glenfiddich. It means Glen of the Deer. See, Valley of the Deer. It's got the deer, Glenfiddich, Valley of the Deer. It's very smooth, 12-year-old. If you like scotch. But I also got a new one. I got a Glenfiddich 15-year-old to see what this is like. I've never tried a 15-year-old Glenfiddich. I've only had a 12. So I bought a 15-year-old malt as well. Glenfiddich. So we've all got a wee dram for tonight. You all got a dram? Anyone got a dram? Alexandra, hello Paul. Sabine, Susanna, Mia. Lexi has been watching a lot of Ewan McGregor movies recently. So I need to throw Trainspotting. Sometimes his acting's not very good. He's terrible in Star Wars, Ewan McGregor. Very average. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Star Wars were not the best scripts to work with, of course, but Ellen, it must be really cold. It wasn't too cold today, actually, Ellen. It was cold yesterday, My hands took about 3 hours to warm. I done my first tour back in Scotland yesterday, and my hands were so cold it took me about 3 hours before my hands were back to normal. But today wasn't too bad. It was quite a nice sunny day in Edinburgh today. It was plus minus. It was above zero. Hi, Janine from Long Island, New York. Mark, how's it going, buddy? How's life? Debbie, Sally? Thank you for the ones that come in on the tours today. Virginia. DT, how you doing? Nice to see you, Beth. You need one. 2 bottles of whiskey. I don't drink whiskey, Karen, as you know. I'm not a whiskey fan. It took me about 6 months to drink a bottle of Nessie. Lola, too early for drink here. It's 10:45. It's never too early for alcohol in Scotland. We have whiskey in our cornflakes. Gee whiz, we're Scottish. Artemis, hello. Yeah, Lexi, yeah, Star Wars was terrible. Lorraine, how's it going? Mark, life is better for seeing you. Oh, thank you very much for your kind words, Mark. It's always good to see you on my tours as well. And Ilya, hey, how you doing? Thank you very much for coming on my tour tonight. Nice to see you. Here's to us, ways like us, Guy Few and the odd deed. Hey, Adrian, buddy, how you doing, my friend? So I'll get back to you in the next couple of days, Adrian, on Messenger. My life's hectic. I had to go and get a new passport today. They increased the price of the passports are going up tomorrow on the 2nd of February, so I think they're going up by about 10 or 15 or 20 pound. So I went and got my new passport today because it was going to expire in June. So I thought I'll get a new passport now. It's February. So yeah, I've had to quite and then I had to go and buy haggis. I had to try and find haggis. I couldn't catch any. I went out with a rifle. I went out with a shotgun earlier on to try and catch the haggis, but it's not haggis season just now. So I have to go and buy one. I couldn't catch one. Michelle, Ilya, long time no see. I know, I've not seen you for ages. How you doing? How's life in the fast lane? You must be so busy and getting on with your life, man. You're just too busy to come on my tours. Good to see you busy. Catherine, John. Adrian, mine's expires in June as well. Yeah, mine's is gone, so that's it. New passport done. I got 2 vouchers for the gas. You know how you're getting vouchers in Britain because the UK government have messed up the economy so much. The price of electricity has trebled in the last year. So people are so poor in Britain, they've had to give out vouchers, £400 to people to help towards their electricity bills. So when I was in Spain, I got 2, so I got £120 for my electricity vouchers today. So it cost me £101 for my passport, so I was £19 up. Not bad. Ilya, good, busy, missing your tours. Well, it's good to have missed you as well, so it's good to be back in Scotland, apart from the cold weather, of course. Everyone who knows me will know I don't like the cold weather very much. Liz, Jane. Hello, Jane from Yorkshire. All right, Liz. Fish chips and a bag of fish chips, mushy peas and a bag of scraps. Because as you can see, I'm actually English by birth. Come on, England! England! Haggis is actually English, by the way. Haggis is English. So, there you go. It was mentioned in England before Scotland. Marty, Laura, Frederick, Mark, do I remember the haggis? Yeah, that's the haggis. That rings a bell. Yeah, I think I remember something about that, Mark. The haggis cartoon strip. Yeah, that's ringing a bell, actually. Ringing a bell. Find out more about that. Tanika, Diane. What do you expect with the Robin Tories in charge? Oh, I know, they're so corrupt. It's the worst government ever. It's the worst government since Margaret Thatcher. It's embarrassing to be British. Luckily, Scotland's got a route out of it with independence coming soon, you know. Frederica, Elizabeth, Ellen S. Come on down to SC. What's that, Ellen? Where's that? Sam and Danfa. I used to look after a hermaphrodite chicken that was called Sam and Danfa. You know, Dolly the sheep. I used to work with Dolly the sheep, and they were trying to breed the hermaphrodite chicken, and they called it Sam and Anfa because it could be a boy's name and a girl's name. Michelle, this is my first tour. Oh, can I just put up a warning, by the way? Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining my tour tonight. Sam, everyone, hello there. Just to put out a warning, my content is adult content. It's not suitable for children. So just to let you know, it's actually not too bad tonight, actually. But yeah, my content tends to be quite adult content, you know, so it's not really suitable for kind of under 14-year-olds. Carol, Abdul, Carol Sue, hello there. My name is Paul. Thank you very much. Say hello, everyone. I'm a tour guide here in Edinburgh, in Leith, actually. Leith is it used to be a separate borough from Edinburgh. It got taken over by Edinburgh in 1920, so we are classed as part of Edinburgh, although we have got a very strong Leith identity. So you'll need to come on and do a tour about Leith soon. Sarah, hello. How are you doing, Sarah? Thank you very much for coming on my tour tonight. I look very smart. I've got my tie on, semi-dressed. I've got a Scottish waistcoat on as well. So what I'm going to do, this is all about Robert Burns, as we know. Robert Burns is Scotland's national bard and all-round general cad. I opened up my Burns tour last year by saying, in a small kind of way, Robert Burns is like Boris Johnson, in the same essence that they both don't know how many children they've got. So I would say that's where the similarities end between Burns and Boris Johnson, because it's reckoned that Robert Burns had about 14 children to 5 different ladies, and that's only the ones that they know about. His first child, believe it or not, Robert Burns is from the west coast of Scotland, from Ayrshire. That's on the other side of the country from here. But Robert Burns used to come to Leith. There is a statue of Robert Burns here in Leith. And his first child, believe it or not, was to a Leith barmaid. Yes, Robert Burns' first child is connected to Leith. I found out the name of the child, but I don't know the name of the barmaid or the pub. I could not find out that information. But yeah, Robert Burns' first child was to a barmaid here in Leith. So it just shows you he was a bit of a cad. He used to participate in orgies. Allegedly, I heard somebody has tried to tell me that he took part in mixed sex orgies. Now, you're talking the 18th century, so that would not be unusual to take part in mixed sex orgies. There wasn't such definitions between where men got their sex from, to be honest, you know. And any hole was a goal back in these days, let's be clear about that. So, but I haven't found any evidence that Robert Burns took part in mixed sex orgies. He did write pornographic poems. So take from that what you will. But yeah, he was a bit of a cad. Just for the ones who've joined, by the way, I just got pulled up by Hago again. I'll probably get reported again. But I got pulled up by Hago. I'll show you why I got pulled up by Hago. In fact, I'll just show you now. Watch this, right? This is why I got pulled up by Hago. Oh, where is it? 1 second. Oh, the speaker switched. Oh, look at that. 1 second, everyone. The speaker just switched off. Because I hadn't. No, I'm not wearing my kilt. I've got my top half on. It looks like it's got rain in it. It looks like that cloud contains rain. So watch this. This is what I get pulled up for. Look, watch what I do. It's like 10-pin bowling with the pigeons here. Yes, take that. 6. So I just got pulled up by Hago for animal cruelty. I can't believe that. I was just having a laugh with the pigeons. You know what I mean? And somebody's reported me to Hago. So the things you get pulled up for. I love animals. You know what I mean? I'm an animal lover. I don't like pigeons too much, however, right enough. But yeah, I'm an animal lover. So I was a bit cheesed off for getting pulled up for that. But anyway, you know, that's the joys of life, you know. But is everyone here? I wonder if I've just got a bit of a... I wonder if everyone's here. Do you think that was worth getting pulled up for? Do you think I was being cruel to animals there? I don't think I was. I was just having a laugh. It was a tiny little bit. I think one was a pebble and one was a bit of food. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I've done far worse than that. Yeah, they were tiny little pebbles. So, I apologise for that. I apologise for that if anyone was offended by that. But yeah, that's what I got. Oh, 1 second, that's my... That's my alarm going off. Right, so I think everybody's here. Yeah, I've got haggis cooking, by the way. I'm trying to time it. So, hello from Halifax. I was born in Halifax. I grew up in Brigadoon and Rastrick Brass Band. So, just to set the scene, this is a prank call. Some of you who have been on my tours in Spain might have heard this before, but I think it's really funny, right? So, it's a delivery driver has turned up with some live haggis, right? And he's trying to deliver them to Wembley Stadium in England, like the English. It's like Wembley is the national football stadium, and it has Wembley Arena as well. And the Scottish guy has turned up on Burns Day trying to deliver live haggis, right? So this is what happens. The live.
It's January the 25th, and Hector's got some important cargo for our Sassenach cousins.
Robert Wembley, can I help you?
Hello there, darling. Is that at Wembley?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Hector. Hector Brocklebank.
Yeah.
Livestock delivery.
Sorry?
Livestock delivery. HB Livestock. With the haggis.
I don't follow you, sir. This is Wembley box office. We sell tickets. How can I help you?
It's about the haggis delivery, I'm saying. Jindy McGinty, Bothy Nechts. Haggis racing, 3 o'clock at Wembley Arena.
You have a delivery to make?
For the race?
For the race?
The race. The race at 3:20.
There is no race at 3:20. It's still being built. There is no racing. What do you mean racing? Horse racing. What do you mean exactly?
Haggis.
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 Haggis racing for Burns Day. 3:20.
Hold a minute, sir.
Sky Television. It's on the Sky.
Hello. Can I help you?
It's a delivery for the haggis racing. It's Hector Brocklebank. I'm in Malari at the moment.
I'll put you back to Bridge Road.
Thank you, darling.
Hello, can I help? Hi, Heather. Can you help this man on the phone? Because I don't know what he wants. Okay, fine. Thanks. Fine. Hello, sorry.
It's Hector Brocklebank, HB Livestock, about the haggis racing.
About the what?
Haggis
Haggis?
racing.
Haggis racing?
At Sky Television at 3:20. I've got the lorry here just now.
Haggis racing? What's haggis racing?
It's Burns Day today, and I've driven down from Mullaig.
Hold on a moment, hold on.
Okay.
Hello, can I help you?
Hello, you're the 6th person that I've spoken to.
Right.
It's Hector Brocklebank, HB Livestock. And I have a delivery for the 3:20 race that's on Sky Television at the arena.
We have no events on in the Wembley Arena. The arena is closed, being refurbished.
Well, I've got Jinty McGinty and Bothy Nechts here with me.
You got who, sorry?
Jinty McGinty.
Jinty McGinty?
This is a thoroughbred pedigree haggis.
Oh, right. Okay.
And Bothy Nechts.
It's what, sorry?
Bothy, B-O-T-H... I-E.
Right.
N-I-C-H-T-S.
Okay.
Pedigree names, obviously.
Oh, indeed. Of haggis, yeah?
And it's
it's Burns night, isn't it? That's right. I watched it on the television this morning, this Burns night.
Well, that's the reason that
But
it's...
what are you coming up to Wembley for, then?
Well,
surely you should be heading to Scotland.
Oh, no, it's Sky Television.
Oh, you're Sky Television?
No, darling. No, I'm Hector Brocklebank.
Sorry, Hector.
Hector Brocklebank, HB Livestock. I'm delivering the 2 very rare thoroughbred pedigree haggai. Haggai is the plural. I've got them here. Hold on. Shh. Hold on. Easy. Oh, you've got to flip them now and again. Down, boy. That was Jinty McGinty there. And half a lassie. Down, girl, down. Whew, tell you. Put your money on Jinty McGinty, 3:20.
I haven't laughed much since last night I was watching Big Brother.
3:20.
Yeah.
Live for the Wembley Arena.
There's nothing on at the Wembley Arena. It's closed at the moment. Opens in...
Sky Television will be there.
Really? What's that noise in the background?
That's a haggai. Down, girl. The pedigree.
Jinty McGinty.
Jinty McGinty, 3:20 at Sky. And thank you very much for being on the Real Radio Breakfast Show in Scotland. Shh. I think they're mating. With Expedia, you can book your...
I hope you enjoyed that. Well, a good call, wasn't it? Hello, everyone who's joined. Sorry I didn't want to interrupt the prank call there. So hopefully you enjoyed that prank call, trying to deliver live Haggai. The plural for haggis is Haggai. And Jinty McGinty and Bothy Nicked. He actually spelled Bothy wrong. Bothy is actually spelled B-O-T-H-Y, not B-O-T-H-I-E, but that's just me being pedantic. But yeah, so this is kind of a different burn supper. What we'll do is we'll go on to the burn supper in the second half of the tour. But what I'll do now is I've done a Hago tour. Well, I've done a few Hago tours last year from Burns Cottage in Ayrshire. There's a museum and a visitor centre. Robert Burns grew up in it. He didn't die there. And also the Brigadoon. The Brigadoon, Americans especially will have heard of Brigadoon, the massive American movie Brigadoon. It was about a mysterious village that only appears every 100 years. And I think it was a Hollywood movie filmed in the 50s or 60s, I think it was. But you know what the funny thing is? It wasn't Scottish play. But so what I'll do is I'm just going to show you bits from the tour, okay? So I'm just going to skip forward at bits, but just to give you an overall feel of his cottage and the area that we're in, okay? But I will skip forward on the tour, so just bear in mind, because I've got quite a lot to cover tonight. You know what I mean? So that's that closed. So we'll just turn this round. I've got haggis. Hey Barbie, how you doing? Thank you very much for coming on my tour, and Lois and everyone else who's joined I haven't seen. So this is just I've done this live on Hago last year, so you will hear me asking questions and answering questions. So just bear in mind that's what's happening. It was live on Hago. I've had to download it, and I can't go down to Burns night was last week, you know. But I was in Spain, so I couldn't do it. So I've just decided to do it tonight. So this is where Robert Burns grew up. Water used, and the cottage itself is white, lime washed. You see the lovely finish on the cottage. Yeah, the gimbal, the ghost of the gimbal, Robert Burns. It's started vibrating. Look at this. Just try to get a nice postcard of the cottage before we go in. There we go. So it's a thatched roof, very efficient with the water. No water gets into that roof at all because of the system that's used. It's an early 18th century, built by Robert Burns' father. Robert Burns was born here inside this room, inside this cottage, but only recently became put back to what it was like. It was actually called a pub. It was actually been used as a pub for a while, believe it or not. And you can see I've got a little garden here as well, trying to grow some stuff outside here as well. There's like purple beetroot. Barbara! Hello, Barbara. So there's beetroot growing there. So they're trying this grapes or something. Peas, probably. Maybe peas. Is it pea pods? Stuff like that. So yeah, quite nice, isn't it? Do you like this cottage? Look at this. Old brig. A brig is a bridge. Ayr Old Brig, 13th to 20th century. Cassie, thank you, Cassie. Mary, you went on a school trip to Abbey. Ah, wow. Here's some carved animals outside, look. Little bull. Hey, follow my channel, everyone. There's a cow. If you can follow my channel, it's a great thing to do. Look here. Oh. Hello, you all getting nice postcards, yeah? Thanks to all my Hago Voyagers, especially Suzanne. I got 500,000 postcards. I just got a new badge, everyone, from Hago. A new achievement award. 500,000 postcards. It's not a lot compared to some people, you know, but depends. You can only work with what you got, you know. I've not been doing as many tours recently on Hago. I've got my new job. I think this is going to be my last tour of the year, but the sleeping cat, it's like bag push, isn't it? Got to go to work, thank you. Everyone, Bonnie, no problem, Bonnie, take care. Look at these, what are these things, man? I don't know what they are. Oh, so isn't it nice? Let's go inside the cottage and have a look. See what the conditions were like in the 18th century. They used to keep animals and all things inside it. Not much windows, you know. Not much light. They must have been very dark places. So this is just a... Hey Joyce, how you doing, Joyce? Karen as well. Welcome to the inside of the birthplace of Robert Burns. Look in the roof. They've got tools hanging up, spades, shovels, forks, scythes and so on. Of course, what have you... I'm not on Hey Go, it's not my last tour on Hey Go, my last job, my last tour of the year. I do a tour leader's job now, so I think this might be my last one. It's coming towards the end of the season now. I might get one more 14-day tour, but this might be my last 14-day tour. So here's some of the Scots words. Look. Biggin, a building. Rip, a handful of corn. Aits is oats. Howk is dig. You howk something. You howk tatties. You howk potatoes. A corby is a raven. A stook is a bundle of straw. A claver is a clover. A grund is ground. Break is narrow. So that Burns wrote in Scots. Okay, Scots and English are two completely different languages. They're both Germanic in origin, but they both have a lot of similarities. And of course, when England and Scotland joined up, the similarities got even closer and closer. Gianna, buongiorno. So you can hear the kid, you can hear the animals mucking out. Would have smelled in here. Imagine all the smells. The animals would have been kept inside to protect them from wolves. Scotland had wolves, had bears as well. I don't know when bears went out of extinction, right enough. Anna. It's like they'd be milking the cows, the goats, sheep were here, making butter and cheese. Can you hear the ducks? Or chicken? Can you hear the chickens? Are you going to do tours in Glasgow? I was supposed to do one on yesterday, Jim, and I had to cancel it because my itinerary changed. I was supposed to be in Glasgow Cathedral yesterday, and my itinerary got changed. Unfortunately, Jim. But yeah, we'll be going forward in the future. Yes, I will be doing tours of Glasgow. So here we go now. That's the animal zone. Here's like the dining room, I would say. Maud. Suzanne has bears, but the dogs scare them away. Yeah, that's what worries me about parts of America. They've got dogs. Look at this. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Something started talking to me when I came in this room. I've got no idea what it is. Hello, Emma. Hey, Emma. Emma's a lovely tour guide from the Scandic regions, Norway. Nandy, what do you mean your last tour? Yeah, I do. I'm a tour leader. My normal job is a tour leader. But I think this is going to be my last tour. I might get one more. But this might be my last tour. It's not my last Hey Go tour. I'm still going to be a tour person. Just not a tour leader. Unless I move to Spain. I'm trying to get work in the summer. Is this the original? Some of it is the original, Jim, yes. No, I don't think any of the furniture and so on will be original, but some of the building is original, yeah. The building's been here since it was built. There have been no nails, of course, back in these times. It would have been built with no nails. Been very warm as well. So we're talking early 1700s here, you know. But let's go and see where the action took place. The bedroom. So you've got a little hearth there, everyone, see? Got the wee hearth. The walls are very thick. Almost as thick as myself, shall we say. There's not much windows. There's a window there. Jeff. Hey, Jeff, my friend. How's life? So this is the kitchen area. Look. So there've been very harsh times back in these times. At least they would have been warm. There would have been. Yeah, glass was expensive. I know. Let's see the tiny little window here. See the tiny little cot. Look at that. That can't be a real cot for a real baby. Oh, look, it just started to move on its own. We've got an exorcist. No, what's it called? A poltergeist. That wasn't moving before. I talk absolute mince for Scotland, eh? Hey, Lorraine. This is the kitchen area of Robert Burns' birthplace. So Robert Burns would have sat in this very kitchen, hearing his dad tell him, reading passages from the Bible. So look here, obviously they've been kept busy. The mother with her needle and her shears. Gars old clays, look, I missed dad's wheels with the new. Would the cottage have been smaller? No, this is it. This is it. There's the bed, look. This is where all the action took place, everyone. So there's Robert Burns, look. Born here on the 25th of January, 1759. His brother Gilbert. His sister Agnes. And Annabella. They had a lot more children than that. It's quite a small bed. They were quite small in these places as well, Jim. Yeah, very small, isn't it? Because here's some more life-size cots here, look. So they'd have been used for the kids right enough. The clothes hovering in the bed. They look like little ghosts, don't they? Imagine if you came in here at night and you saw them, you'd be quite freaking out. Oh, look! Whoa! Hello, everyone! Paul here! ¿Qué pasa? Look. How's it going, everyone? How's life? Look. Hello, it's me! So this is obviously original 18th century air conditioning here, see? This is the earliest example of the air conditioner in 1742. Believe that and you'll believe anything. Don't take anything I say too seriously, everyone. I have a habit of talking absolute nonsense, as most of my followers will tell you. But I've got good intentions, you know. Here's a poem here. His clean hearth stain, his thrifty wifey's smile, the lisping infant prating on his knee, does all his weary clow and care beguile, and makes him quite forget his labour and his toil. What is on the floor? Stone. There's some kind of rug there, but I don't know what that's supposed to be. It's just a stone floor. Vitor. Hey, amigo. Jen. So yeah, it's just a stone floor. Again, we've got some 17th century lighting up here. Oh, the baby just started crying. Tell you what, see if you come in here at night. It'd be quite freaky, actually. Let's go, because I've got lots to show you, everyone. I've got to go and show you an old medieval church as well, in the Brigadoon. Has anyone heard of the Brigadoon? Just love the garden here. Beautiful, isn't it? Bit lovely, isn't it? Teresa's roses and garden peas are long gone. Oh, there's a shame. Hello, Karen.
So I'm just going to
look here.
Forward this.
Is that Robert Burns when he was a kid reading a book underneath a tree? What's it? Burial place of Robert Burns' father.
So I'll just put that back a little bit.
House back, isn't it? Look at the house. Lovely. It's under offer, it's up for sale. And it's under offer, so somebody's put a bid in for it. Quite a nice house, but I wouldn't mind staying there. Well, I wouldn't want to live down here anyway, to be honest. So that's the new church, look, over there. And look at this. So this is the burial place of Robert Burns' father. William Burns. Trisha, hey Trisha. This is the burial place of Robert Burns' father. Robert Burns is buried in a different graveyard 60 miles away in Dumfries. Now, do you know what's quite annoying about this? Look, right? So William Burns died in 1784. His wife, a Scottish tradition, you kept your own name. You know, females, when they got married, they kept their own surname. So his wife was Agnes Brown. She would also be called Agnes Burns as well, right? Isabella, one of their daughters, is buried here. But as you can see, Isabella is not buried here. Well, she's not named. She is actually buried here, but she's not named. And his wife, Agnes Brown, is buried in East Lothian. So there you go. But look at this. I just want to show you this gravestone here. Where is it? Look at this. Isn't this incredible, everyone? Look at this for a gravestone. Look at this. Look at the horse. The detail in it. Isn't that a wonderful gravestone? Look at the horse and the tools. It's like a blacksmith. You see the blacksmith shoeing the horse. And the egg time, the sand timer, the egg timer. That reminds us we've all only got a limited time on this earth. Yeah, blacksmith one. Very nice, eh? Please stay there, I must refresh. Hurry up, Tess. I'm getting soaked. I'm kneeling on the grass. And look at that. It's like the devil up there. Look at that one. Have you got that, Tess? I'm just going to have a show of the back for you, the chair. There's another nice one up here. Let me see. No, it's just the text on the back. Lisa and Mum. Hello, we're in an ancient medieval graveyard. Look at this one. Where is it? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, everyone. Look at the skeleton. Look at that. Isn't it incredible? I'm trying to get that squared up for you. Look at the skeleton. Isn't it amazing? Yeah. Beautiful. And then this other one, look at the show this last one before we go and see the church. Look at this. A lot of moss. You could do be getting cleaned up, eh? Yeah, beautiful. I like this graveyard. I like the gravestones, you know. Look at that. So the church itself is middle of the 1500s. Just look here above the lintel on the door. See here? So this is a medieval church. So you're talking, talking early 14. You're talking 15th century. Sorry, I'm getting my centuries mixed up. My medieval period. It just fell into a state of disrepair. It wasn't actually burnt down during the Reformation like a lot of the churches. It was obviously a Catholic church. But if you look above the lintel, it says 1516. That's just when this door was added in 1516. So the church itself is 1400s. How did the roof go? It just fell into a state of disrepair. Because what happened, there was only a small village. And the church moved away to a different church in a different village. So it just fell into a state of disrepair. It wasn't... Normally a lot of churches were destroyed in the Reformation period, but this one wasn't. So this is what Tam O'Shanter was written for. This is why Tam O'Shanter was written. It was to get this church on the map, essentially. So they said, we need a tale. Why did this church need to get put on a map? We need something exciting about it. So Robert Burns wrote Tam O'Shanter. You see here? I'll read out some of Tam O'Shanter when we get to the end, okay? Jen, slower. No problem, Jen. You see the devils dancing? With the witch, you see the witch? So look here. Yeah, I've got a lot to get in on this tour. I'm just showing you this as an added bonus, Jen. So lovely, isn't it? So hopefully you've got a nice few postcards there, as I say. No problem. So I've got quite a lot to... I've still got some gardens in the brig to show you as well. Lovely, isn't it? But See, it is worth coming down here. It's worth coming down here. Okay, I'm just going to move on a little bit. Isn't it stunning? So that's the Brigadoon. See that there? That's the Brigadoon. Look at the gardens down there. That means the bridge over the River Doon. Is that the back of the pub? That's the back of the pub, the beer garden. Wow. Isn't that beautiful, everyone? Stunning place. And of course you've got some black-faced sheep over there. You hear any wee sheep? Wee black-faced sheepies. Hello, sheepies. Come to Daddy. We'll have some lamb for my Sunday roast and mint sauce. Oh no, I'll get pulled up by Hago again. I actually don't like lamb too much, to be honest. Lamb is not one of my favourite meats, to be honest, is lamb. I'll eat it, but I won't. I would never order lamb. Places. Mandy, add me as a friend on Facebook, pal. Paul James Stewart. And I'll send you a link to the sponsor-only video. So here we go, everyone, the Brigadoon. I'll read out some Tam O'Shanter. Look at this. Where are you going next with your tour group? I go to Oban. Tomorrow, I go to Oban. So I'm doing a tour from Oban. Look at this. So tonight we go back to Glasgow, and then tomorrow we leave. We go to the Bridge of Orchy. And we head up to Oban. So there's the bridge where we just came from, look. I can't believe the heat. Mandy, I thought you said only doing one more tour. Ah yeah, one 14-day tour. But I'm in like day 2. So I've still got 12 days touring to go. Isn't it beautiful, eh? Brigadoon. Look how beautiful it is. It was a famous musical theatre here in the US back in the 50s. Yeah, Brigadoon is actually a play. It's a so-called Scottish play about a mysterious village that only appears every 100 years. And it only appears every 100 years because they don't want change. They don't want the village to be changed by modern inventions and so on. But you know what? It's actually not Scottish. It's actually German. It was actually written by Germans. It's a German play. But because it was brought out during the war, there was a lot of anti-German feeling. So it was actually a German play. So at the moment, I'm just going to take a pause, right? I used to be part of Invisible Cities. Invisible Cities are a social enterprise, which is a not-for-profit organisation who train people affected by homelessness to become tour guides. And last year, one of our tour guides in Manchester died. Invisible Cities are based in Edinburgh, Manchester, Glasgow, York. Soon we're going to be in Cardiff, Liverpool and Norwich. And the very first tour guide in Manchester died. And he was a poet, like Robert Burns, he was a poet. And the guy slept on the streets for 5 years. Rough sleep. He was an ex-military guy. He was part of the British Army, and he was suffering from PTSD, undiagnosed, and so he became homeless, lived on the streets for 5 years before he got diagnosed with PTSD. And he was living in a car park in Manchester, in an NCP car park, a parking lot in Manchester. Him and a few other homeless people were living there. And sometimes when you're sleeping, I've been homeless myself over 12 times, don't know how many times, I've lost count. But sometimes when homeless people sleep outside, you either sleep alone or you sleep with your friends. Safety in numbers, right? So Danny and a couple of his friends were sleeping in a car park in Manchester. And NCP, the people who owned the car park, and the Manchester Council went to court and got them eviction notice. His name is Danny Collins. Thanks, Artemis. His name is Danny Collins. But he coped with his PTSD by writing poetry. And when he got kicked out of the car park, there's a little garden outside the car park in Manchester. I don't know if anyone's been to the NCP car park in Manchester. There's a garden, then a little small wall, about 4 feet high. And there was an alcove with a bench in it. So Danny, when he got kicked out of the car park, he went and slept on this alcove behind a bench. Okay, so when he woke up in the morning, there was a little girl there, and this is what happened. He wrote a poem called The Rose, and I might get emotional, by the way, because Danny was a close friend of mine. And Robert Burns, one of his most famous poems is A Red, Red Rose. Oh, my love is like a red, red rose. And Danny wrote a poem called The Rose. He was actually from Liverpool, Danny, okay? But he wrote this poem. And I'm going to struggle to get through it, to be honest. I'm going to struggle. It's called The Rose. One morning, when I was on the streets, a little girl came up to me and asked, why do you live here, on the streets? So I said, 'cause I've got nowhere else to live. I'm sorry, mister, she said to me. I've got no money to give to you today, but I bought this rose for my mum, and I would like to give it to you. So I took the rose with a tear in my eye, and I held it close to my heart. And I knew from that time I had to pick myself up and get myself off the streets. And he did. He got himself off the streets after that. But even now, I think of that kid. Even though the rose has long gone, the memory of it will always live on. I wish I knew who she was. But maybe I never will. I always thought that maybe one day I would like to buy her mum a very special rose. But then I think to myself, no, she's already got one with that very, very special little girl. Jeff, thank you very much. Yes, it's actually nothing to do with Scotland, Brigadoon. Lynn always used to go to Scotland. Yeah, it's a good time because the midges are not here. Paul is working as a live guide for tour groups. So this, yeah, thanks for that, Suzanne. So this is the Brigadoon, look at that. Lovely, isn't it? And that's the back of the pub. I thought that was somebody's house when I was here before. But isn't it beautiful, the river here? Don't know if there's any fish in it. But let's go over the Brigadoon here. See if I get attacked by the witches on the other side. There's the upstream view. Look at that nice house up there. Look at that up there. What tour am I doing, Paul? Do you mean my tour leading job, Lynn? My tour leading job? It's called Scotland's. It's a tour of Scotland. Look at this, the Brigadoon. Oh, here we go. Let's see if the witches get me. Come on, witches, come ahead if you think you're hard enough. You're not even there. Come on, oh, look at that. Remember, that happened the last time this beam of sunlight come over, look. Woo! There's nothing in front of me. There is nothing in front of me. It's just an illusion. And it's gone, look. Whoa. Whoa. I'm being held back. I can't cross this line, everyone. There's a mysterious force. A force field trying to stop me. I'm through. It's just a path. I don't think. It's just a path. I'll lead you around the village somewhere, yeah, but this is a Brigadoon. But look at this view, everyone. Look, coming back. Look. I need it. The witches never got me. Hey ho, with the witches. Look at that. Karen, I remember, I refreshed it. I wonder what you're doing. I'm just being a twat as usual. You know me by now, I'm an idiot. I'm what you call in Scotland a bit raj. Yeah, you'd be called me a bit raj, you know. A bit crazy, a bit erratic. I've not got much of a filter. I've got the habit of making flippant remarks that can get me into trouble. But you only live once, according to James Bond. You only live once. So just, and that one up there, bang my head a cracker. Oh, look at the apples on the tree. Well, I'll go and take an apple.
Mark, I'll get on to that in a second, buddy.
Barbara Maria. Oh, thank you so much for leaving me a tip, by the way. Am I allowed to go and take an apple? I don't think so, man. There's too many people watching. Look. I was going to be an apple thief. In fact, I'll do a vertical shot. I'm just waiting for these two. There's two guys up in the monument. I don't want them in my shot. Can you please leave, guys? Come on, man. You've been there long enough. Bold. Okay, look. There's a guy in it. Hurry up, pal. Do you not know we're trying to take postcards here? How selfish are they, eh? I mean, how selfish are they actually enjoying this visitor attraction? Get out my way. Oh, it smells quite nice in here. I'm only being facetious, by the way. Don't take anything I say too seriously. Hopefully you all know that by now. But yeah, hurry up. Having sex. I mean, the two guys have been in there a long time together, eh? You know what I mean? It's not a dog in sight I've came to, is it? God almighty. Mind you, if it's guys, I'll not be long, eh? You see what I mean? Beautiful, isn't it? You've got to have a laugh in life. Life's too short. Look at these beautiful plants, man. My head just up there the last time. Full pelt.
The time before I done this, I banged my head going up these stairs, a cracker.
Oh, watch it not bang my head. Yay, I'll pass it, I think. Yep, passed it. Look at this. Look at the grounds here. They're beautiful. So this is where I came in over here, the pub. £7 AM. Jen, I'll put a replay up. Add me as a friend. Hey, you enjoyed the tour? Thank you, Jay. Yeah, if you haven't seen the tour, everyone just add me as a friend and I'll put it on Facebook for you. You're happy. And getting foul, and that's why I just whiz round as quick as I can.
I'm going to read out a bit of Tam O'Shanter, one of his most famous poems.
But I'll read you some. Can you see the bridge there? I can't even see the bridge. Can you see the bridge? The sun's...
Isn't that stunningly beautiful? Look at it. Look at that.
And the Scots. To see if it... Right, I'll read out the first part. You won't understand this before I go, okay? Tam O'Shanter. It's just set near here, this bridge, okay? When Chapman billies leave the street and ruthy neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late and folk begin to tack the gate, while we sit browsing at the nappy and getting foul and unco happy, we think na on the lang Scots miles, the mosses, waters, slaps and stiles that lie between us and our hame, where sits our sulky sullen dame, gathering her brows like gathering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. This truth and honest Tam O'Shanter, as he frae air at night did canter, all dare wham near a tune surpasses for honest men and bonny lasses. Good luck with the captions with that one, Karen. I hope you've enjoyed this tour, everyone. I can't actually see what I'm doing. Hello, I need to move away from the sun. There we go. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for...
So there we go. That was my pre-recorded content tour of Robert Burns Cottage. I just thought we'd try and fit that into the tour as well. It's not really a kind of tour. It's just a kind of a way to promote Robert Burns. Wendy says... Was it Wendy that said it? Barbie as well. No other place in the world like Scotland as well. Yeah, it was a celebration. But after Robert Burns died, his friends had a party and he would read out his poems about his works and so on. And then they changed it to his birth date instead of his death date, so the 25th of January, as you saw in the cottage where he was born. And so, yeah, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it spread as the Scots got access to the English colonies, and the Scots got deported to Highland clearances. So some of you called MacDonald might know about that. People got cleared. 50% of the Scottish population lived in the Highlands before 1745, and after the Jacobite rebellion, they all got decanted. They wiped out. It was actually called genocide, what happened in Scotland. It would get classed as genocide today because the English banned Gaelic, Scots, bagpipes, weapons and so on, tartan, and if you carried out a punishment, thousands of Scots got cleared off their land for sheep and so on, but all that did was spread burns around the world. You know, Abraham Lincoln, the American president, used to read out Robert Burns' poems when he was courting his wife, when they were just partners. Abraham Lincoln would read Burns' poems to his wife, his soon-to-be wife, and so on. So he's the third most statued person in the world, behind Queen Victoria and Christopher Columbus, Queen Victoria and Robert Burns. Robert Burns is the third most statued person in the world. Auld Lang Syne, which is traditionally sang on New Year's Eve, is the second most popular song in the entire world after Happy Birthday. So there are burn societies all over the world, hundreds of burn societies all over the world, and he wrote in Scots, not English, because you have to bear in mind when Burns was born and surviving as a poet, Scotland and England had joined to create Britain in 1707. Prior to that, people spoke in Scots and the English people spoke in English. They were, as I said on the tour, they were both Germanic and both languages were Germanic in origin, and they had a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences as well, which you'll find out in a second. And Burns deliberately chose to write in Scots, right? And if Burns had chose to write in English, I don't think, and many others would think, that he would not be as famous as what he is today. Because, what's the example I use? Oh, fear for, you're on it. Fear for, you're on his sonsy face. Fear for, right, I'm going to read out some Burns, right? So a Burns supper, right? So traditionally on a Burns supper, you would eat haggis, right? You would eat haggis. And you read out Burns' poems. It's celebrated all over the world. And he was like a dram of whiskey. I've got a 12-year-old Glenfiddich here, as I mentioned earlier, right? And I'm going to address the haggis in a minute. Okay, I'll go and get the haggis in a minute. Where is it? Right. So, in fact, I'll just open another one here. Here, actually. 1 second, everyone. Bear with me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read out a Burns poem in Scots, right? And then I'm going to read it out in English so you can hear the similarities and the differences between them, right? Aye. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Yeah, it was on his death date. Yeah, it was on the anniversary of his death. The first Burns suppers that were held 5 years after he died, or 4 years was it? But yeah, then he changed it to the celebration of his birth rather than his death. And Burns was a controversial figure in the fact that Scotland is split by unionism and nationalism. So probably about 55% of Scottish people will now want independence, 45% want to remain part of Britain. So both sides of the independence campaign claim Burns would have been a nationalist or a unionist. He did call the people who signed the treaty between England and Scotland, he did use the words bought and sold for English gold, such a parcel of rogues in a nation. So to me that doesn't sound like he would be a unionist, but he was also a Masonic person. So, you know, I don't know. There's a big debate been going on for a long time about whether Burns would vote for independence for Scotland or not, but I don't know. We'll see what happens going forward with the Scottish independence campaign. There is a big, massive campaign in Scotland just now. But I'm going to show you a video Right, so this is how it's supposed to be done, right? Oh yeah, if you want to leave a tip, by the way, you can leave a tip. I don't normally ask too much for tips. Tego is a tip-based platform, and that's how we survive. So if you do want to leave a tip, if you have enjoyed the tour at all, please consider leaving a tip. But look at this guy here, right?
Wee dram for you, Gordon. One for myself, chef. You're not getting one. The haggis, Jokslandia Barry.
Clap along!
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. What happened there? Sorry about that, everyone.
The blanket hums. Is there the tourists French ragout, onion, the bit stoa sewer?
Sorry about that. I don't know what
Grace as lies my ear, the clouded prey.
There we go.
A bit name all ye take your place, paint, stripe, and
There we go. Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell happened there.
a party town. He was getting it down, but he did write the following: the address to your haggis. Fear for your honest, sonsy face, great chieftain on it. Prudent breaks. A bit name all ye take your place, paint, stripe, and fear. We love ye. Worthy with grace as lies my ear, the clouded preacher, there you fill your huggies like a distant hill. Your pin would help to make them all the time would eat well. Through your pores the dews distill. Oh, like amber beat. His knife, see rustic labour dick, and cut you up with any slick, trenching your gushing old trails, bracht like only ditch, and then, ho ho ho! What a glorious sight. Warm, reeking, rich, then horn for horn, he speaks and stride, deal to the headmost, on the drive to leather wheels, small kites for live, and bent like drums. Then, all get my mace like to ride. The blanket hums. Is there the tourists French ragout, onion, the bit stoa sewer, fricassee with matters, perfect scanner, Lickstein we sneer and scorn for you, old sick of oh, poor devil. See him out, he's trash, as faithless as a leather brush. His spinal shank, I got whiplash, his knee, and nut through bloody flitter field to dash. Oh, how unfit but up the rustic, highest paid at time when they putting his trade, clapping his welly knee, bubbling your market whistle, and lace, and airs, and heats, you'll snade like taps o' thistle. Ye powers, my mankind your fear, dash them up the billow fear. Old Scotland, wants na skinking weird and jumps and luggies but, if you wish, her grateful prayer, gie her a haggis!
What a professional that guy was, you know. I'm not like that guy. I can, my Scots, they reckon about 50% of people speak Scots on a daily basis. I reckon it's probably higher than that. But, people speak Scots without realising it. And Scots deliberately chose to write in Scots. So it was quite a political decision to make after the Jacobite rebellion had just failed in 1745 as well. So you have to bear in mind there was still a lot of Jacobite sympathies in Scotland at that point when Burns was born and alive, and obviously he moved to Edinburgh as well. Clarinda, Agnes MacLehose was one of his so-called mousses in Edinburgh, who I talk about on my Females of Edinburgh tour as well. She was born in Glasgow. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to address the haggis. I'm going to address the haggis. So a bit of political chat. We're just here to have a laugh, by the way. So where am I? Right, okay. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the address the haggis, right, in Scots, and then I'm going to read it out in English. I'm going to translate it into English for you, okay? So let's see if I can get this a bit further away. So I've got a haggis here. 1 second. As I said, I couldn't catch one earlier, so I've got a haggis here. This is a haggis here. Okay, so I'm going to read out, I might not do the full version, but I'll read out the full version in English, okay? So basically, they stab the haggis and cut it open, okay? Right, so fair fa, your honest, sonsy face, great chieftain o' the puddin' race, about them all ye take your place, pain, stripe or thorn, weal or worthy o' a grace, as long as I earn. The groaning trenchers there ye fill, your hurdles like a distant hill, your pin would help to mend a mill, in time of need, while through your pores the dews distill like amber bead. His knife sees rustic labour dict, and cut ye up wi' ready slight, trenching your gushing entrails bright like ony ditch, and then what a glorious sight, warm, reeking, rich. Then horn for horn they stretch and strive, de'll take the hindmost, they dive, till all their whale swell dikes believe, and bent like drums. The old guidman, maist like to rive, ben think it hums. Okay, so that's in Scots, right? So I'll read that out in English for you. So that's not all of it, by the way. This is why it goes on for too long. So in English, so bear in mind, fair for your honest, sonsy face, okay? So that means good luck to you and your honest, plump face, great chieftain of the puddin' race. Above them all, you take your place, gut, stomach, lining, or intestine. You're well worth a grace, as long as my arm. The overloaded serving tray that there you fill, your buttock shaved like a distant hilltop. Your wooden skewer could be used to fix a mill if need be, while through your pores your juices drip like liquid gold. His knife see the serving man clean, and then cut you up with great skill, making a trench in your bright gushing guts to form a ditch, and then, what a glorious sight, warm, steaming, and rich. Then, spoonful after spoonful, they eagerly eat. The devil will get you the last bit. On they go, until all their well-stretched stomachs, by and by, are bent like drums. The head of the family, about to burst, murmurs, thank the Lord. So you can see the complete difference in the language. Scots, in a lot of ways, bears no relation to English at all. Isn't it bizarre?
So I think Scots is a much more romantic language than English, basically. Fair fa your honest sonsy face. Great chieftain of the pudding race, right? English. Good luck to you and your honest fat face. Great chieftain of the pudding race. What's more romantic? You know, so I like the way that Burns did use Scots in his language, and it's never going to end. Burns is never going to end. You know what I mean? It's just going to go on and on and on and on forevermore. Unfortunately, because Scotland is part of Britain, a lot of our Scottish history and heritage we don't know about. So do you know on the 25th of January, on Burns Night, there was no programme on the TV about Burns. There was no programme. Imagine a celebration that's celebrated all over the world was not even celebrated on TV here in Scotland because we have British TV. Isn't that wrong? That is so wrong, you know. Nothing about Burns. The New Year's Eve Hogmanay is one of our finest celebrations as well. Nothing on the TV. It's just a pile of absolute crap. The Edinburgh Festival, the largest arts festival in the world, is basically ignored by the British television. We are not in control of our own media. Before the 2014 independence campaign, there was not one single newspaper in Scotland that supported independence. Not one. Not one. Now we have one. Now we have one, but that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this tour today. Thank you very much for sticking by me. But before we go, we're going to have a wee dram, okay? So Scotland is, of course, famous for whisky. So this is my favourite whisky I've tried. I don't particularly like whisky too much, but I do like a Glenfiddich 12-year-old. It's very smooth. I don't like strong whisky. I go to whisky distilleries as part of my tour, my 14-day tours, and it's a really smooth whisky. So let's have a wee dram, a Glenfiddich. So what you need to do is you need to pour your dram. You have to drink whisky in a certain way, okay? You don't just swallow it down, right? So what you do is you pour your wee dram, right? So then you swirl it around to see the legs. Does it stick to the side of the glass? You know, see the legs if it sticks to the glass. And then you smell it. Don't drink whiskey straight away. You do not drink whiskey straight away. You have to smell it at least 3 times before you drink it, okay? So keep on smelling it and breathing it in. Swirl it around. You see the whiskey sticking to the legs, sticking to the glass, right? And then you take a sip. That's a beautifully smooth whiskey. Then what you do is, if that's too strong for you, they then add a drop of water. You add a drop of water to it, okay? So one single little drop of water makes such a difference. So one single little, tiny little drop will, if that is too strong, it will make it easier to drink. You know, what's this? Is this 40%? So Scottish whisky, Scotch, has to be aged in a barrel for a minimum of 3 years. This has been aged for 12 years. 12 years. You can get stuff that's like been in barrels for decades and decades, you know. A barrel of whiskey got sold for £1 million not that long ago. But so that's the haggis, right? So just to let you see the haggis that I got, right? Several drops as well. Yeah, some people have several drops. So I'll cut the haggis, right? And what I'll do is just give me 1 second, right? And what I'll do is I'll show you a video or something. 1 second, everyone. Let me see what I can show you before I go and mash the potatoes. Oh, what's that going? Wrong way around. Let's see. What would you like to hear? A prank call. Oh yeah, I know. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to listen to a prank call, okay? Some of you might have heard that, right? But, this is a prank call, so there's two journalists, right? And they were both on a European trip. They went to watch a game in they report on football games in Scotland, right? Two journalists, and they had a hotel room paid for by the company, and so one of the journalists who was there phoned up the other journalist, winding him up, right? And this is what happened.
Alan Ruff from the Real Radio Football Phone-In. They were off together watching Celtic. Well, they should have been watching Celtic. They were watching some less than savoury movies in the hotel room. Here's Alan calling up Ewan with the bad news that the boss at Real Radio has found it on the bill and wants to know what they were watching.
Hi, Ewan.
Ewan?
Yes.
It's Ruffy.
Hi, Ruffy. How you doing,
How
mate?
you doing? Things going okay?
I tell you what, mate, I'm just arrived at the stadium. What a stunning stadium, and the pitch is like a snooker table.
I thought it was supposed to be a mess, the stadium.
I mean, it is. It's nice on here. It'll be lovely when it's done, but it's very tight. You're right on top. I'm not joking. You're within. You could touch the place. You're that close to it.
Right, well, anyway, it's not football I'm on about.
Yeah, what is it, mate?
Unfortunately, you know how we did the expenses for Lithuania? Maggie's sending them down to Leeds, and they've come back up questioning them.
Oh, have they?
and unfortunately, no, on the bills for the hotel room, it's got the adult movie channels.
No.
Well, he's got the receipts anyway, and you know I have to go up and see him at 5 o'clock. So I just thought I'd let you know before.
Well, just say that's a mistake. That's a mistake, and just say, look, no, I'm not asking you to pay for that. That's a mistake. Just tell him that. Just say it's a mistake. That's not for you to pay for.
Can you remember which film it was?
Which film it was? Like,
I've got one on mine, but there's 3 on yours.
Just tell him you're not paying for it. Just say that that's not part of the expenses. So that's a mistake. Yeah. That is a mistake, and I paid for that, and that's the end of it.
But anyway, the worst thing of the lot is that some of the procedure or something, I've been sent a letter, you know, to see him. And to the house, so he's probably sent a letter to your house.
Look, Ruffy, you know, and I know, the f***ing hotel has made a mistake.
I'm just saying...
If it's going to be a problem, then I'll pay for it then. I'll pay for that time, but that, I can... how embarrassing is that? That actually went to Leeds.
Yeah, well, no, that's where the expenses go. But they've sent it back up to Maggie to question.
That's how embarrassing is that?
That's not the bit I'm worrying about. The worrying bit is if you sent a letter and your wife opens it when you're away. Because Maggie nearly opened mine.
No. When did you get that?
This morning.
Right, I'm going to phone Trace. I'll phone you back, mate. I'll just ask if there's anything come from the post for me. I won't say anything. I'll just say, have I got any post this morning? See what
He's now paranoid that his wife's going to find out that he's been billed for watching 3 porno movies in a hotel.
He says.
Can you remember, what was it, Lesbo Lust?
What's now? I mean, there was guys in it. What?
Ewan.
Hello? Who's that?
Ewan.
Who's that?
Ewan. 8:15 Monday morning.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm studying in Portugal for Celtic against Boa Vista, the UEFA Cup semi-finals, and you're winding me up for such a big night. You're getting it, Galloway. You're getting it. Ruffy, you're dead, man. Scotland legend, man. Oh, no. Robin, you're a dead man, honestly. I'll see you on Monday.
Thanks, Ewan.
Bye.
Top man. Thanks.
Brilliant. They thought they got busted for watching pornos in their hotel room while they're on a job. Brilliant, wasn't it? So, so I hope you've enjoyed the tour tonight. I'm just going to show you. So, you see here, 1 second, everyone. So, this is what we would eat with haggis. So, this is what we would eat. So, traditionally, we would have haggis, turnip and potatoes, which we call haggis, neeps and tatties. So that's what we have. That's how we have haggis. It now comes in lots of different forms. You can get haggis pakora, haggis spring rolls, haggis phyllo pastry, haggis pizza. You can have, some hotels serve haggis for breakfast. I would not eat haggis for breakfast, I can assure you. Yes, a lot of Americans. Oh, where's my gimbal go? My gimbal's drunk. My gimbal's, yeah, haggis pizza, yeah, you get haggis and everything. It's honestly, a lot of them, I deal with a lot of, I do 14-day tours of Scotland with American clients, and most of them do not like haggis at all. They do not like it. It's like devil's food, you know, so, yeah, it's basically made from a sheep's stomach. So how they would make haggis would be, they would kill the sheep, right? And because the intestines go off quickest, what they would do is they would take the intestines out, chop them up, the kidneys, the lungs, the liver, and so on, chop them up, and boil them in the sheep's stomach. Because there was no fridges back in these times, you know, so that's why haggis was created. But it's the Romans made haggis, the Arabs back in thousands of years ago. Haggis is not a uniquely Scottish dish. Basically, if you were living in a place where there was camels, if the camel died, you would do exactly the same. You would kill the camel for meat. You would cook the intestines first, because that's what part goes off quickest, and cooked in the stomach of that animal. So it's not unique to Scotland. It's been the Greeks, the Romans, the Arabs, whoever. It's been used for centuries, you know. But yes, so I hope you've enjoyed the tour tonight, everyone. Thank you so much. I think I've got tours on tomorrow. I'll just check. I think I've got tours on tomorrow. So if you'd like to continue coming on my tours, I'm back in Scotland now. Let me see. Where are we? Guide dashboard. Tour schedule. Tomorrow. Come on, hurry up. Oh yes, tomorrow at 12 o'clock, my time, I've got a tour. We're going from Edinburgh's Old Town into the New Town area to discover how Edinburgh went from a walled city to the Scotland invented the modern world. Television, telephone, the flushing toilet, the Bank of England, tarmac, the bicycle, the waterproof raincoat, the hypodermic needle and so on was invented in Scotland. So join me tomorrow to find out more about that. And thank you so much for coming on my tour. If you cannot afford to leave a tip, by the way, it's no problem at all. If you can leave a tip, even £1 or a couple of pounds, it's no problem. If you cannot afford to do that, no problem at all. Please continue to come on my tours every day. But one way you can help us is by following my channel. If somewhere on the screen could be a follow button, if you could follow my channel. And also, if you could leave a 5-star review. Don't leave a 4-star review, because my granny is called Super Gran. She's a Scottish superhero. And if my granny reads the 4-star review, she gets very upset. So I'm going to leave you playing out to Super Gran. You know how you've got like Iron Man, you've got Batman, Superman, and all these people? Well, Scotland have got our own hero called Super Gran.
I wonder.
And I'm going to play you for a second.
If you had the power to dream
talking about
any dream you wanted to dream.
Sing along, everyone, sing along. Sung by a famous Scottish comedian called Billy Connolly.
Stand back, Superman, Iceman, Spider-Man, Batman and Robin too. Don't wanna cause a ruckus, but be able rockets, but I've got a match for you. She makes them look like a bunch of fairies. She's got more model than United Dairy. Hang about, look out for Super Gran. The wanna cause a ruckus could be a ruckus, and I've got a match for you. She makes them look like a bunch of fairies. She's got more bottle than United Dairy. Hang about, look out for Super Grand. You can thank your heroes, your Robert De Niro's, your Al Pacino too. And makes the lonely just another phony. He couldn't lace a shoes. After her, they're all big girls' blouses. She's got more front than a row of houses. Hang about, look out for
Super Grand.
She's a
How amazing is that, by the way? One thing, before we go, right, I've got 2 sporrans for my kilt. Which one is the favourite? This one? I've got 2 sporrans. I need to choose. This is my new one. Or that one. Oh, sorry. So this one. Darker one. Dark. Or that. That one. The new one. That one. Yeah, everyone's saying that. Oh, too light. Too light. Most people saying dark. Both. See, this one's it's quite well worn, you know. You just have this to keep your whiskey in it. It looks like the dark one, so the dark one's one of that one. Yeah. So this is what Scottish people wear when they wear a kilt, you know. Dark. The new one. Share them. I'm saying nothing, by the way. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming on my tour tonight. I hope you've enjoyed a little bit of the tour. I hope you've had a laugh at least once. I try to keep my tours light-hearted and upbeat and so on. I know I got quite emotional when reading out the poem about Danny, but Danny was a very close friend of mine, and he meant a lot to me. And I was devastated when he died. So that's when I actually read out that poem live on air, and I done the same. I crumbled. I couldn't do it. I was devastated because he was such a lovely man. Being undiagnosed for PTSD on the streets for 5 years, abandoned by the British Army, you know. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming on my tours, and hopefully join me tomorrow. I've got tours every day this week coming up, everyone, so thank you so much. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all soon.